And hello, okay, cool, nice. Alright, the mic is working. So I just talked about what I'm doing today. I'm just doing a quick, maybe 20-ish minute stream because I want to learn how to do, what is this? I wanted to learn how to do values and edges, and I had to look at actually the thumbnail here. And it looks like they've drawn like this full-on kind of really complicated, big, I guess, like person here. So it's pretty detailed. So I don't really know how I'm gonna do that, but that's alright. Let's see what we can do, and let's have a look here. So I'm gonna go into here and let's begin. Start drawing.
Hey guys, video number 8. So this is about values and edges.
Oh, this is a bit
And
low
how that
volume. I'm gonna
relates to
turn that up a
drawing
bit.
And really how to use value and edges to portray a realistic image. So I just have a self-portrait here that I sketched the other day. Something really quickly. And
Something
from a
really quick.
photograph,
Yeah,
I
just
probably
something
spent
really quick,
15
you know.
minutes tops on
Just
it.
easy thing to do.
It's a small sketch. But there are a few things I
Why is
want
my
to
desktop audio not working?
talk about, and that's value. First of all, value.
Make sure that that's turned on. Alright, let's go into here.
A realistic image. So I just have
Oh, okay, it's
a
working now. Cool.
self-portrait
Alright.
here that I sketched the other day. Something really quickly, and from a photograph, I probably spent
Yeah, just
15
something really
minutes
quick, you know.
tops on
Something
it.
really simple.
It's a small sketch. But there are a few things
Really
I
good.
want to talk about.
Well,
and that's value.
It doesn't. It looks
First of
okay.
all, value.
It does. Actually, I can see how it's
Um,
rough sketch actually
The
because
value is just how light and dark
you can see
things
it's
are.
not like.
And I use the number
Oh, yeah, he's talking, okay.
talk about, and that's value. First of all, value. So value is just how light and dark things are.
Light
and I use the
dark.
number a 2B pencil for this, the whole entire thing.
Mhm.
So there's a
Oh,
little
it didn't
trick
take
that
him that short
a
thing.
lot of artists do. If
was
you look at paintings
entire
and
pencil.
all kinds of art, especially on portraits, you'll notice that where there's light on the face, wherever there's light, they use a darker background. And as it gets darker, you'll see this sometimes. It's kind of an old trick, real easy trick. Where it gets dark, you kind of lighten the background a bit. So it creates some contrast. And that's what I have going on here. So where it's all light on my face,
Okay.
I just darken the background.
So if you want to
wearing a
draw
dark shirt
something
there, so
light,
my
you
face
can
really
actually
comes
create a
forward.
bit of contrast.
And also the dark area here in the shadow
darkness in the background.
of my hair, due to the light background here. Now you can
Be some thing
you
here.
know, blend that out, and then that kind of goes into edges. I could have lost that edge completely, so you wouldn't even seen the edge of my hair. It would have just blended in softly into the background, and it would have really brought this forward and pushed this back.
Wait,
Um,
I just missed what
so
he
there's
said.
different ways
Let's
of
do
doing
forward.
things. Now, as far as I had my hair kind of fade into the background, so there's not really a set rule or anything like that. It's just playing around and finding out what works best for you. But I could have made this really dark and have my hair, you know, blend that out, and then that kind of goes
Oh.
into edges. I could have lost that edge completely, so you wouldn't even seen the edge of my hair. It would have just blended in softly into the background, and it would have really brought this forward and pushed this back.
Oh, okay.
So there's different ways of doing things. Now, as far as edges, and I'm just going to give some quick explanations. We can, in the next few videos, we can go into a little bit more, do a whole video on edges, or a whole video on value, and show some different images and really demonstrate things. But I just wanted to bring this to you guys' attention that with drawing, it's really about values and edges.
Values.
You know, with painting, there's
Right, just so I
four
can know what that
things. My main videos are about painting, so the four things that I go through are drawing, value, color, and edges. But for drawing, you only have drawing and value and edges. You have proportions.
Oh, right. I see what he's
composition, a
saying.
lot of
It's
different
drawing
things.
is
Same as
just
painting,
with
but
pencil and
drawing is
paper
just
or
more of the
piece
basic
of-
foundation, the structure,
Wait,
a lot of,
detail.
and value and edges. You have proportions, composition, a lot of different, and value and edge
Wait,
and
what?
line. you only have drawing and value and edges. You have proportions, composition,
Wait.
a lot of different things, same as painting, but drawing is just more of the basic foundation, the
Oh,
structure
right,
of a
yeah,
painting.
there's no colors
Um,
and things like that. Well, I do want to learn to
So,
draw with color.
when it comes to edges, you know, I could have lost that entire edge. So what it means with edges is either soft or hard or lost. Lost completely just means, you know, there's no hard line. You know, like the outline of my face here is a very hard line. So if but an area like my nose, you know, that's the thing. A lot of people have trouble drawing noses.
Mhm.
It's because they're a soft edge. It's not this hard line. If you went and sketched a whole line around my nose, all these lines, it's gonna look funny. So you kind of have to rub those out a little bit and blend them down and make them softer. So I don't really even have any lines on the nose here, on the bridge of the nose.
Oh.
It's basically just different values, different shades. So that's what I mean by edges, is sometimes it's just gonna be a value shift. You know, for shadows and stuff, some shadows are really soft. So it's just using a soft hand and penciling that in and maybe blending that out a bit. So when you have
Wait,
these
what?
variation of edges, that's
What
how
did you say?
shadow value here on the
Blending that out a
bridge
bit?
of the nose. It's basically
So
just
is that like, for
different
example,
values,
the
different
face,
shades.
where he has one
So
part
that's what I mean by
darker and then
edges,
the
is
other part
sometimes
sort of lighter?
it's just gonna be a value
It goes
shift.
from one to
you
the
know,
other. Yeah,
for
I think I
sha-
get that. Okay, cool.
blending that out a bit. So when you have these variation of edges, that's what creates a realistic image. So I have variations here. I have the outline of
Drop my face. Oh no, I think
my head and face, but then on the inside,
a bit of it.
there's a lot of just soft edges
That's alright.
and a lot of softer
What
things
of the
going on.
some of the
As
start,
far as shading.
the
and
lead and the
things.
pace are broke.
So getting the values correct, getting the
Still feels
edges
like,
correct, that's what's going to give
It
you
was broken before. I just
an overall
made it come out a
interesting
little bit.
image, and that's what's going
just
to
made it.
create realism if you're looking for that, or getting it to look a little bit realer, more real. So a lot of people, if you're trying to draw people, there's a lot of plenty of folks out there that like drawing anime and cartoons,
Yeah,
coming up with your own original
wanna do
characters and
that.
things of that nature. I'm not really into that, but I will tell you, if you want it to look a little bit more realistic, you need to add some shading, soften some edges, or at least soften some edges.
and soften
I mean, you can have a line drawing
it's-
only.
Soften
If you
edges.
just soften some
The
edges
thing
using
you
a
did
tissue or
before
a
when you
blending
made
stump
the
or something of that nature, and just soften some of your edges,
face,
you can really create
basically lighter on the dark
a
background.
focal area, a
and
focal
dark on the
point.
light
So it's
background.
also
I think
important to
that's
have a
what it
focal
is.
point in your drawing and figuring out what that is before you even start drawing. So really having the
Wait, what did
preparation.
you say?
But I don't want to get too deep into anything. I just want to talk about values in drawing. A focal area, a focal point. So it's also important to have a focal point in your drawing
Focal point.
and figuring out what that is before you even start drawing. So really having the preparation. But I don't want to get too deep into anything. I just want to talk about values and edges, because that's really a lot of what drawing is about. It's about value and edges and getting that correct. So anyway, I just wanted to make a quick video, and stay tuned for the next videos. I'm going to start demonstrating, go into a little bit more, talking about different compositional elements and different ways you can approach your drawing. Let me know in the comments below, what are you interested in drawing? Are you interested in
Okay, I'm gonna post that there because he's going into that. Alright, I think I could do that, so I'm gonna just try draw then probably a pencil case. Not pencil case, a glass case. Oh! My things just fell. So I took that out. Oopsies. Anyways, draw a pencil case here. This is like a glasses case from the place I got my glasses from. Look, I'm giving them free advertising, my 2020. Except, not really, because there's probably more people that know what this is than know what I am. But hey, that will change in the future, I believe. So, that will maybe change, I don't know, hopefully. But yeah, let's put this here, and let's just try and shade this. So if I were to put this here, sort of just try and draw an edge around. The first thing you can see in here is like a big sort of circle as to where it is, and that circle's sort of like further down on the bottom. We shade lightly initially and then goes up like that, and then it goes sort of around like this, except it doesn't go that high. It would more go, I haven't drawn in a long time actually. I haven't drawn in maybe like around 2 weeks. I'm gonna see if I still can do what I was doing before. So it's like that kind of, that's the circle, and then there's like this one sort of line that goes across like this. Oh, that doesn't go all the way there, that goes closer to over here, and then there's sort of another line that goes like that and then goes across like that, which is kind of like where the glasses are, and then in terms of this, there's like a tiny gap in between where it goes from there to like there, so it's more like that. So I can draw that and I can get rid of this thing here, and then there's like a line that goes starting from here that goes into here kind of, and let's try to do the shading on this actually. So if we were to do a little bit of shading, you can see there's some shading over here. It's kind of like light here and it gets a bit darker as we go into it. So I'm going to press a bit harder on over here. Just going to make all this a little bit darker. Like that. And then it sort of disappears a bit as it goes over here. It sort of disappears to the side here. And it goes all the way around like this actually. So it goes all the way around here. So I'm going to make this, because it's still pretty dark over here, but it just goes all the way around here like that. And then there's sort of like a shadow here, and then this part is really, really light. And it gets a tiny bit darker over here. And then, what else is there? There's like shading sort of curves around here, kind of. So it's very light around here, but it kind of goes to this a bit, like that. Oh, that doesn't look very good. I don't know. Where else is there shading on this? I don't think there really is shading anywhere else. Let's try to make this a bit more obvious. So this essentially is going darker, darker here, and then lighter this way, and then let's try to cross hatch this to see if that makes it look any better. So let's try to basically make that like that. And now make this a bit darker over here, like this, like this, like this, like this, and basically make that darker like that, and go all the way around here like this. And then this part should be really, really light, so this part, oh, okay, see, this is starting to look a bit better after I did the cross hatching, so that should look like that. Okay, and then there's obviously the little logo here, just like the glasses on the eye, so let's draw that here. let's put my 2020. So that doesn't really go down there, but let's just try to do this anyways. And then let's put a little smile here. Oops. Smile there. Oh, that doesn't mess that up a bit. That's alright. Smile there for the logo. Let's just do that. And then, yeah, I think that's it. So now we can do the actual shadow on it. So that starts out from around here and it goes basically all the way around to over here. Oops. Like here, and then basically that's all just one shade, so we can just color that all in like one shade like this. And then color cross hatching like this. Turn the paper around so this is easier for me to do. Like that, kind of. And then we can do like a sun coming over here because that's where the light source is coming from. That looks okay. I think that the shadow has to be a bit darker because the shadow is a bit dark compared to the entire image in the real life photos. I'm going to press a bit harder here and see how that makes it look. Oh, I kind of over a bit there. Let's rub that out. Now let's make this also a bit darker over here, like this. Make this actually a bit darker as well. And that's the shadow. I think the shadow, we did the shadow a bit too much. So actually let's rub out a little bit of the shadow around here. Like that. There we go. And then I think, yeah, that looks a bit better, I think. Looks a little more like a pair of glasses. Okay, and then he talked about, what was it called? Values and edges. So we could basically make the dark parts have a lighter background and the light parts have a dark background. So I guess if we were to draw a table on this, it would look like not really sure, like here maybe? Let's just say there was a table over here and this was the table, and so we could have essentially this table be relatively dark over here and then get a bit lighter as we go over here, kind of, and then relatively light around here, light here, light here, light here, light here, light here, and then we could make it go a bit darker over here. And then make it also kind of dark over here. This feels so weird just doing this over and over again. Okay, and then that's how we would make the oops. Let's try to make this part a bit lighter like this. That's how we make the glasses look a bit more, except that needs to fade out more, so that needs to give way to that edge, so I can make it sort of fade out by making this part a bit lighter than before, and then doing the same thing over here, kind of. that. There we go. And that's essentially the pair of glasses. I don't know. I think I didn't do the shading around that well. Because this part definitely looks a bit weird with how dark it is. But I wonder if that's because it's going on the image. And if I sort of make it like this, maybe it will look better. So I remove all the parts where it actually goes on the image. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Okay. There we go. My 2020 glasses. Except the glasses logo is probably a bit smaller than it actually is, and this part is also probably a bit smaller than it actually is, but that's kind of cool. Alright, we drew my 2020 glasses, and to celebrate, let's draw something else on the side of that. Let's draw... Oh, I don't know. What should we draw? Something easy. Let's use our imagination. Let's draw like a straw. Let's draw like a straw. How would we do that? So straw sort of has like, it looks like this. And then if the light's coming from here, then the shading would be sort of light on this side. Get darker as you go downwards towards here. And then I'm not sure how we would make it. Maybe it would have like a tiny bit of a curve here that goes around like this. Make it a bit more 3D. Yeah, that's kind of what it would look like, I think. And then over here there would be maybe... No, there would be no shading on the curve, so we'd have to get rid of all the shading on here, so we would have to just make it really obvious like this, and then like this. Yeah, and there we go. That's... Oh, that looks like a square. That doesn't look... I've messed that up a bit. There we go. Okay, that's the straw. Sip water through that straw. It looks like a cigarette, kind of, actually. Make it have some lines. It's a cigarette. No, I don't want to do. Smoking is bad for your health, kids. Do not smoke. Do I have any viewers on my stream? Wait, it's not even started. What is this? Okay, well, I wasn't streaming today, apparently. That's kind of a scam. But let's actually see. Has it started? It has started. Okay, I was just on the wrong thing. Top chat, viewers. I don't know. Where does it say the viewers? I forgot. One watching now. No one is viewing this video. I'm sad. That's right. Oh, that looks so bad in the image for some reason. When I look at it in the image compared to when I look at it, like, from the perspective of, like, on the paper. So this would be dark all the way here, and then we have to try to make this part a bit lighter, like that. And that is essentially the general gist of the glasses. And then we would have to color the rest of the table in as well. So, like, this part would be pretty dark here, theoretically. Except it needs to make sense with the light source as well. So maybe this part over here would all be really light, but then as we got into here, it would be a bit darker, and then this part would be really dark, like this. So this part like that, and then like that, and then this part would be dark, 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 all the way down to here. And this rest of the table would be light like that. Cool! Alright. can barely even see the straw now because I made this part dark when it's dark over here. Hang on. I'm gonna make this part a bit lighter. Okay. There we go. That's the straw. The My 2020 glasses and the straw. Kind of drawing just the same things over and over again here, but I can see what he means by like the lighter background. Like it's hard to tell from this side, but definitely over here, when you have a lighter background, it's easier to tell this is like a shadow, I think. Same if you have like, I guess on this side as well, this edge is more, it's kind of more clear. It's not super more clear. Maybe if I make this a tiny bit dark, it'll be more clear. I can move it coming into here. Yeah, that is more clear. That makes it seem more clear, but it doesn't really look that good because the light is coming from them. It doesn't really make sense with where the light is. Maybe if I blend it into the background a bit. I just drowned out the light source. Still doesn't look that amazing. Oh well, it's our first time. It's not our first time. It's our maybe seventh, eighth time drawing. So that's alright. Thanks everyone for watching. Today was a 28-minute stream. Not that long, but that's fine. Have a nice day, guys, and goodbye. Oh no, did I change the structure? Oh.